Greetings, everyone. This is Patrice, your girl, Miss M, whatever you want to call me. I'm coming to you live and in color from a beautiful park. Take a look around. Hold on. Look around. My kids are over there playing. I had to come on here real quick and just give you a testimony video about how good God is. When I tell you, um, this is a long time coming. I even felt like I was Joseph at one time. The quick background, the quick story is that I worked at a place for 4 years. The last 2 years of that company, I was in a job that I did not like. Um, how do I give it to you in a condensed version? Long story short, I was in a job initially that I liked. I applied to, got the job, right? God blessed me with that job. I prayed for that job, and He blessed me with that job out of 16 people. About 6 months or 7 months into it, the general manager asked me to apply for another position. And because it was more money and the hours were days, and I needed that because of my kids, I went ahead and applied, got that job. So that was a blessing. But a month after he hired me, he was fired. He was caught sleeping around with different people, and that's a whole nother thing. So basically, the manager who I had to follow direction from had no clue what to do with me. So I created my own lane for about a year. After about a year, a new general manager came on board and basically decided to change everything. He changed my status. I was salary. I was now hourly. He changed my title. He changed where I sat. I no longer sat on one building. I had to go across the street to another building. He changed my hours. He changed my manager. He changed my duties. He basically changed my whole life. Now, because I have a family, I had to endure. I mean, I'm not going to give up or quit because somebody does something that I don't like. So of course, right away, I started looking for other opportunities, and I've had some leads, I had interviews, but nothing, literally nothing came through. And so I was so frustrated. I was so anxious. I was so desperate. I was crying. I was sad. I was discouraged. It really got to the point where it got so bad that I was anxious at one time. I was fearful. And then recently, as of like February, I got a new supervisor over me. So when the supervisor came along, he became it was even worse. It was toxic, abusive, and it got to the point where it went to HR and just the whole thing. And I'm not trying to say this because I'm trying to gain any points or whatever. I'm trying to paint a picture for you to understand what I was going through. So in that whole time since February, I've been looking, but nothing has come through. So I got to the point where I was like, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't look, because God has also revealed that I need to have my own business. So I'm just staying encouraged, knowing that God is blessing me with a business, and I'm working on that. I'm getting content, and that's something I'll share with you guys another time. So I'm moving forward. And in September, just 2 months ago, it was the worst month at that job ever. Like, you thought that part was bad. Now I was being written up. I was, like I said, being harassed. And I just could tell the difference, the way they treated the unbelievers and the believers. The unbelievers who may or may not be doing their job, they got a, pat on the back. The ones who were believers, like myself and a few other supervisors. They just got treated really poorly. And I knew right there was a spiritual attack, a spiritual war. So I just continued to pray, even in my tears, even in my sadness, even in my frustration. I just continued because I knew God would never leave me nor forsake me. So with that being said, I started applying to other jobs because I'm getting written up, and I was literally one step away from being terminated. Literally, like if I did anything, whether I was late, my kid was sick, if I had a flat tire, anything I did, because they had this point system, I would have been let go. So of course, the alarm is like God obviously wants me to find another job. So I go ahead and I start applying on Indeed. I'm just sending it, sending it, sending it, and I'm not even, I'm just like whatever. I'm just sending it, don't know what's going to happen. So all of a sudden, I check my email and I get an email from a company that honestly I didn't even really pay attention to, like, because when on Indeed they have like a quick apply thing button. So I went ahead and just applied to places in my role that I want, because my background is quality assurance. So I was just applying for quality jobs. So anyway, I get a request for a phone interview, and I'm like, okay, let me do a little due diligence on this company, see what's going on. Had the phone interview right away. I knew it was God, because prior to that happening, I have this calendar right here. It's from 2018 to 2019, and I was so dead set on leaving this company that I said, Lord, I need your hand. I need you to move. I know you can do it. I want to be out of this company by the end of October. And it was in September. So of course I'm like, okay, you're going to have to move quick. I didn't tell God that, but I'm saying, this has to be like a swift thing, but he can do it. So anyway, I ended up getting a phone call, and I'm like, okay, wow, this is really cool. So let me just show you, just so you believe me. Here is where it says I quit. Then down here it says I start a new job. Now notice it says the 28th. The 28th was because I put 2019 date, but God knows my intention. So anyway, the point is I knew I wanted to be out of there by the end of October, period. And I just put it down just like that. And I'm not saying that you should write it down or there's any particular formula. Sorry for the for the train. But there's no particular formula with God. To me, it's all about your faith. Whatever creates faith in you, do that thing. So anyway, I'll try to hurry up here. So I went ahead and had the phone interview, and right away I knew this was it, because the person was from up north. Not to say anything in particular about people from up north, but I'm from New York, and immediately I just felt a sense of comfort and relaxation, and just like I could just be very confident. So I go ahead, have the interview. She's very excited. She went ahead and recommended me to do a phone face-to-face that Thursday. And the way my job, well, she asked me when I was available. And I told her Thursday, because the way that job was, you had to give a certain amount of notice, or again, you'll be in the point problem. So go over there Thursday, do an excellent job. I have my suit on, everything is nice. And I end up getting a phone call from the lady about 10 minutes later asking me for my salary requirement. So I tell her, and it was more than what it said on Indeed. So she told me, hey, this is a little bit more than what it says the maximum was. I said, okay, well, how about the maximum be my minimum, but this is what I'm looking for. About 10 minutes later, the same day, they call me back and she offers me the position at the amount that I requested. Can you believe that? Can you believe how God can move? Just like that, I was out of this company. Just like that. And guess what day she wanted me to start? The end of October. So when I tell you God can move, He can move. You hear me? So for those who are waiting, those who are fed up, those who are desperate, like how I have been, those who are just on the edge, don't give in. And also don't just take anything because you want to get out of something. Even in relationships, don't just leave or go into a new situation with somebody just for the sake of not being lonely or what have you. Do it because you know it's God's hand moving, and you know that because of the way you'll know. I'm telling you, you'll know. And because I've had an interview, I've had other situations come up, and it just, to me, it was just God saying that's not it for you. That's just not it. So what was even more, the double blessing, you know how they say you get double for your trouble, or God will restore what the locust has stolen. Remember I said that they changed everything about my role at that other job. Not only did they give me what I wanted as far as money, not only am I in the job that I'm wanting to do, which is quality, I am now a salaried employee. I can make my own hours. I can work from home. And I have my own office. So all the things that the locust has stolen, all the things that the devil thought he could get over and hurt me with, I endured until the end, and I have been given more than I even, honestly, I just wanted to get out. Even I would have left just to leave, even at the same rate I was making. But to get more and all those perks that come with it, and I'm only a few minutes away from my house, everything, God did it. I promise you. So stay encouraged. I know it's hard, but I'm telling you, He's not a liar. He said He would never leave you nor forsake you. Just like with Joseph. He told Joseph that he would be over his brothers. And he knew it would come. I knew it was going to come. Even in that, all that stress, I knew it was going to come. I didn't know when. I don't do magic. I used to deal with that back in my, my worldly days. I don't do magic. So I don't say, oh, it's going to happen, blah, blah, blah. No, I knew He was going to do it, but I didn't know when, and I didn't know how, and I didn't know where. So I just knew. But the thing is, I waited 2 years, and He basically showed me how to endure. So I'm saying to you, endure until the end. I promise you, He will not leave you. Don't just do anything because of fear and because of intimidation or because of anxiety or because of anything. Anything in particular, don't do it, because that's not God's hand. That's the enemy. And when you move out of the enemy's fear, then who knows what's waiting for you on the other side. So I just wanted to encourage you and just share my story. I'm just so overwhelmed. I mean, it's just amazing. So I gotta go. These kids are calling me. God bless you. I hope that you are encouraged. I may take a picture and show you my office. It's just crazy. Like, I went from having a desk to an office. I went from, even my manager was like, you have kids, we get it. You're an adult, we get it. Do you just let us know if you can't be in? Let us know. We'll work with you. If you want to work from home, great, so be it. Like, just the fact that their attitudes are like that, just the fact that I don't have to be in fear if my son gets sick or my daughter gets sick or I have to pick them, what a blessing. Not only am I getting the bare minimum, I'm getting more. And I don't say this to be braggadocious, but I really am truly overwhelmed by God's hand and the way He moves. So I hope this blessed you, and take in the sights and stay positive, guys. God is good. God bless.